Welcome to Off to in English. Everyone knows the most famous dinosaur movie of all time, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park gave the audience, the first time ever in cinema history, the opportunity to see highly realistic dinosaurs acting in an action movie. And as you might remember, I did already a movie about Jurassic Park on Super 8 as a new digest offered by Dave Baker. But this time I do have a real copy and I would like to present it to you. Here it is. The running time of Jurassic Park on Super 8 is 28 minutes. The feature movie is 123 minutes, just to compare. It's copied on Kodak low-fade polyester stock and has a crisp stereo sound. It's copied in flat format, not CinemaScope, and I have to tell you, the editing is excellent. It's a brilliant short version of the whole movie, and I have to say, I really adore it. So let's talk with the man behind this Super 8 wonder about his digest. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Good to see you. How is the weather in Florida?
Beautiful.
Dave, you sent me a copy of your Jurassic Park. Thank you very, very much for that. And you know, I do highly appreciate that you choose Jurassic Park for Digest because it's one of my favorite movies.
Also one of my favorites. Uh, it was not a bad, difficult decision to narrow down to what do I want to put out. Being one of my all-time favorites, and of course, no digest ever being produced of it. However, it has been put on Super 8 as a feature in the past, but no digest ever existed.
What is the source material of Jurassic Park we can buy now on Super 8?
Source material was a 35 millimeter flat print, Fuji print. Originally, it was not in. It was a mono print, but through the miracle of digital sound, the recording was actually, oh, it's beautiful. It's done in actual 2-track surround sound. So if you have the ability and a stereo projector, and you've got the ability to separate the tracks with your amplified sound system, you will experience this Super 8 film unlike any other.
In the last video, we talked about the process of editing, and as far as I remember, you edit first digitally, and afterwards, when you have your final digital cut, you go to your analog source material, in this case, the 35 millimeter feature. How much of the original source material gets lost when you cut your original feature into pieces?
At the most, you only lose a frame, one frame. That's all. One frame from each, when you join the scenes together. That's all.
So I think it was indeed a lot of work to edit Jurassic Park down to the final digest. And besides that, the process of producing copies is very complex. We had this topic in the last video. All these expenses have to be covered. May I ask you what the current price for one copy of Jurassic Park is?
Well, right now it's at 350 USD dollars. Of course, naturally from a foreign country, you have to do the, conversion rate because it has to equal that 350 US dollars.
May I ask you how much of this price is profit?
Profit? Uh, that doesn't come until much later. Right now, it's just like covering expenses. So, let me explain to you that I'm not really in this to make money. I'm in it for the film. So, uh, yeah, it would be nice to actually make money, but uh, I think I've probably sold now enough copies to break even on Jurassic Park.
How many copies of Jurassic Park have been sold yet?
I think I've sold about 29.
I suppose this price does not only cover the expenses of producing the individual copy on Super 8 material, it also has to cover the expenses of producing the 16 mm source negative, isn't it?
Yes, the expenses of creating the negative to create that uh, answer print, uh, which is what the Super 8 prints are worked off of, that negative. So you've got that expense, and then you have just the cost too of having the sound recorded onto each print and the shipping back and forth. Yeah,
But if you don't make profit, why do you do this?
for the fun of it. It's a lot of fun. It's neat. It's exciting. Collectors are excited about what's happening now. And most are very grateful that somebody has come along and uh, is doing this again. So I do it I'm in it for the film myself. Uh, I'm not, I'm not interested really in money. I'm interested in film.
Um, some months ago, you posted in the 8 mm forum that Jurassic Park will be available only until the end of 2021. Why did you set an end date for orders, and what if, maybe to the consequences of this video, someone would love to buy your version of Jurassic Park?
Okay, well, the reason why it's not going to be discontinued. It's just going to be retired for a little bit. And that's because of all the new releases that are going to be coming out. So what I want to do is just shelve it for a little while and let the new stuff come in, you see? So if somebody were really adamant and really, oh, after they watch your program and they want a copy, all they have to do is request one. And I will still. It just is not going to be pushed, like it has been. So all I have to do is request it, and they can find that through the link on your website.
Yes, they can. Well, I am absolutely happy to have a copy of this Super 8 masterpiece because it's so awesome edited. And I can recommend it to every Super 8 lover. And just think about that. In the 1970s, a 30-minute version of a movie on Super 8 was about 300 German mark. I don't know, how much was it in the US?
Yeah, it was probably close to $100 back then. Yeah, for a 30 minute.
Well, I'm sure related to purchasing power or value of money. I think now to then is absolutely comparable.
Yes.
Dave, do you have plans for the future and would you share them?
See, the next scheduled release that I'm trying to schedule is going to be a 200-foot color version of Godzilla versus the Thing. It's going to run, actually, it's going to be a full reel at about 11 and a half minutes. And it's going to be called The Battle. So, and that'll be color. Mono, I think, because we don't believe there could be a digital reworked stereo sound version. We're looking into that. So that'll be the next release. And now I'm scheduling that for Christmas of this year. Now, in the future, which would be next year, which is 2022, right up and through 2023, I have what's waiting. Okay, and These are waiting. All they're doing is waiting for my nod to say go ahead and create the negative. That is going to be several hammer films, and these are the ones, the hammer films that are waiting. The Curse of Frankenstein, The Evil of Frankenstein, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Those are all 400-foot versions, which right now the 400-foot versions are running around 250 USD dollars. Okay, that's the next three hammer. Then after that, or we'll see, it's a mixture. I'm going to release a 400-foot version, color, sound of Godzilla versus the Thing. Now these two versions will not have the same scenes. Okay, so if you buy the small version, you're going to have scenes that aren't included in the 400-foot version. So what you do there is you buy both versions and you splice them together. So now you have a longer print. You get it?
That's the same technique they used in the 1970s.
Ken Films would do that. So, okay, and now I'm also doing the same thing, a 200-foot version and a 400-foot version of Ray Harryhausen's The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Same thing with different scenes. Also on the schedule is The Haunting, Robert Wise's classic ghost story from the 60s. It's going to be awesome. That's going to be a 400-foot black and white version, along with, now this is really spectacular here, this next one. And I've been working on this one for quite some time. It's going to be a 30-minute color, digitally sound, stereo, surround sound version of The Fifth Element. This is absolutely awesome. It's being reworked and worked and reworked. And the source material for that is a 35 millimeter print. So that has been a very ambitious project. And one of the additions that I just added to my release list that will be soon in the future is going to be a 400-foot color version of Frankenstein Conquers the World. So right now, that's where we are. These are all, some are still being worked on, such as The Fifth Element, because it's very complex story. So, you know, you have to, I don't know how many times I've had to view it just to get the idea here. I do have the idea here, but because that's one of the most complex things I've ever worked on, and I'm still working with it. So, you know, I want to make it really good so everybody understands what's going on in 30 minutes. And with something like that, it's really hard to do. But those are the treats that I can tell your viewers right now of what's coming. Also, I am releasing on Halloween the restored Dracula Hammer film with Christopher Lee. That's pre-orders are available for that right now, and the cost on that is 250 USD. So that's available now to pre-order, and my projected date is going to be this Halloween, when the prints should start coming from overseas, I hope. You know. So there you have it. These are all these gems for your viewers, since you asked.
Dave, that sounds awesome, and I can't wait for it. Thank you so much for doing all this. I mean, it's such a pleasure for the Super 8 community that we have you. I thank you also so much for the Jurassic Park Digest. It's just great. I don't miss anything. And, well, I think we are now at the end of the interview. Thank you so much for that, and I hope we meet again.
Thank you for having me, and I'm sure we will, because I would like to, I would like to interview with you exclusively as future releases come out.
That would be great. I'm looking forward to this. Well, Dave, have a good day in sunny Florida and see you soon.
Bye. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye bye. And if you are interested in buying a copy of Jurassic Park on Super 8, go to my website offto.de/English, where you can find the interview with Dave I did in 2020, and there are also his contact details. We will now have a brief look into the beginning of the Jurassic Park Digest on Super 8. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's watch.
I've leased it from the government, and I've spent the last 5 years setting up a kind of biological preserve. Really spectacular, spared no expense. There's a particular pebble in my shoe, represents my investors. Says that they insist on outside opinions.
What kind of opinions?
Well, your kind, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, let's face it, in your particular field, you're the top minds. And if I could just persuade you to sign off on the park, give it your endorsement, maybe even pen a wee testimonial, I could get back on schedule.
Why would they care what we think?
What kind of park is this? It's right up your alley.
The perimeter fence are in place.
And the concrete pipes and the motion sensor tracking systems. Ronald, dear boy, relax. Try and enjoy it.
Shouldn't be here. Veriformin's been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing is obviously... What?
Let's see. Here's a dinosaur.
You did. You crazy son of a bitch, you did. We're gonna make a fortune with this place.
Dr. Grant. My dear Dr. Sattler. Welcome to Jurassic Park.